We're live on YouTube. We are live on Rumble. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU. We are joined in the live studio audience. We have a Scrooping Clanker. Not sure if he'd like to introduce himself. Okay. Anyway, today is Saturn's Day, aka Saturday, January 24th, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 41. Claudius succeeded his nephew Caligula as Roman emperor after the latter's assassination by officers of the Praetorian Guard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Caligula was a buddy of mine.
Claudia.
Caligula. I can't even pronounce it. Claudia?
Claudius and then Caligula. Claudius and Caligulus. Cludia. Wait.
Are you Clooney?
George? 1076, cyanide of worms, German King Henry IV fired Pope Gregory VII. You can fire the Pope? What?
That is unheard of. I've never heard of a Pope being fired. It's permanent.
I mean, you'd think that the only one with such authority would be God, you know? I mean... Anyway, 1556, Mughal Emperor Humayun tripped and fell... Actually, no, hold on a second. Pardon me. 1536. We have two things here. This is wild. 1536. King Henry VIII of England suffered an accident while jousting, leading to a brain injury that historians say may have influenced his later erratic behavior and possible impotence. And then 1556. So just 20 years after this, Mughal Emperor Humayun tripped and fell down the stairs of his library, dying 3 days later.
Wow.
So that's wild.
You know, as far as the king up there, never mind, I won't say it.
Okay.
Not the right thing to say. See, I actually screened myself. How about that?
That's unfortunate. So, I kind of want to know what you have to say, but it's probably something that'll get us,
Well,
you know.
I'm just going to say, you may be screwy, but as long as you can screwy, you're okay.
Okay. 1616, Dutch mariners Jacob Le Maire and William Schouten were the first Europeans to discover Le Maire Strait, Tierra de Fuego, and went on to round the Cape Horn. Okay. 1639, Connecticut colony organized under fundamental orders, and I have a note here telling me to image search this because it shows the fundamental orders actually. So this is the Connecticut colony. You know, what would eventually become Connecticut State.
Right.
So, let's see here. Let me bigger this really quick. Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, 1639. First written constitution in the American colonies, so it was the first of them all.
Yeah.
So, it began a pattern of the colonists securing guaranteed rights. Constitution, a written plan for government. Where in New England? Okay.
You know, I've never thought of this before, but when they were colonies and then they were changing over to states, I wonder if the land of that colony changed. Like, did they grab more land, or was it required to stay in whatever the colonies?
That is a good
declared?
question.
I've never thought of that before.
What the colonies look like. I mean, like, you know, they must have grown just by taking land from the natives and everything. You know, as the French American or the French Indian War or whatever, and there's other things that happen.
Well, claiming land is all structure.
Yeah.
You can't claim land in reality.
Well, you know, but that is a good question. Like, you know, like what did the colonies look like throughout the colonial times up until statehood?
And then what they do when they turn into states.
Yeah, that is a really interesting idea. 1648, Lord Baltimore's representative, Margaret Brent, was ejected from the Maryland Council after requesting the right to vote. Huh. 1656, the first Jewish doctor in North American colonies, Jacob Lombroso, arrived in Maryland. Okay. 1679, King Charles II disbanded the English Cavalier Parliament after 18 years, the longest of any English or British Parliament. 1722, Edward Wigglesworth, what a name, Wigglesworth. Like, hold on a second, yeah, right here, it's real. Edward Wigglesworth was appointed as the first North American divinity professor, specifically for Harvard. What is a divinity professor? So let's take a look at this here.
Well,
really
it didn't
quick.
have something to do with worms
I'll
or
play
something.
professor about
Divinity?
many of the Ivy League schools started out as like
Oh,
religious schools.
okay.
Well, what was that? like Georgetown that we were talking about the other day.
Catholic school.
Yeah, it started as a Catholic school.
Yeah.
So you
maybe still is. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, we are a Judeo-Christian society, so most things, especially back in these days, would have some kind of religious fundamental something or other. You know, even if it's not like, you know, front and center, because it's supposed to be separation of church and state. But this is a private enterprise. Yeah. So, but yeah, it says here, faculty directory, Yale Divinity School, Harvard Divinity School, Faculty of Divinity. So yeah, it's a whole religious thing. 1722, Tsar Peter the Great began the civil system. What is the civil system? I'm just going to look this up really quick here. Tsar Peter the Great, government reform of Peter the Great. Okay, so it's just a government reform of some sort. So I'm actually going to add this into the underbar section.
I think it gave local leaders more stuff. I can't.
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
This is just talking about the government. Okay, government. Peter ascended the throne at age 10. Blah, blah, blah. Background. Okay, this is getting an administrative reform. Prior to Peter's rule, Russia's administrative system was relatively antiquated compared to that of many Western European nations. The state was divided into uyezds, which mostly consisted of cities and their immediate surrounding areas. The system divided the population unevenly and was extremely clumsy to manage. In 1708, Peter abolished these. Okay, so where's this is 1722. So, where's the 1722 section? 1700, 1744. Well, anyway, we got to keep going for the sake of time, but if anybody can let us know in the comments section specifically, I think SC here might be onto something with what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
basically what they're saying is modernizing the system.
Yeah, but I will be posting the link in the underbar after the live stream. As you see, I'm starting to make my list here. Moving on up to 1764, a fire at Harvard University destroyed Governor Winthorpe's telescope and its library of 5,000 books is mostly lost.
Oh,
wow,
man.
That's a disaster. 1789, Louis the...
Why keep all the books in one building?
Well, might not have been one building. You know?
Yeah, but it was the books that's devastating.
Yeah. Like, it might have been one building, I'm not sure, but, and that was his, you know...
Back in the 1700s, books were...
Yeah.
Pretty special.
Yeah. And that was at least his library, because it said here, his telescope and its library. So it has to be something to do with, like, astronomy and all that stuff. It's probably a bunch of books on that and everything. What a loss. 1789, Louis XVI of France issued an edict calling for the convocation of the Estates General, a General Assembly not called since 1614, well over 100 years prior. Wow. 1835, slaves in El Salvador. Many soldiers, actually no, wrong one. Slaves in El Salvador da Bahia, Brazil, staged a revolt, which was instrumental in ending slavery there 50 years later. All right.
Wow, it took a while, but
good
start, I guess.
Yeah. 1848, James Marshall found gold in Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California, starting the California Gold Rush. Yes.
You did a collage on.
Not a collage.
Or whatever those are called.
I still have it. Let's see. Like, what are those things? Like a cardboard box, and you make some.
Make a 3D scene.
Yeah. What was it?
School projects.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna look this up here. School project out of cardboard box.
3D display.
3D display. Hold on a second. Diorama?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah. Alright. What else?
That's like a... Dioramas are like... They're on top of cardboard boxes and not inside. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, like we carve into the cardboard box.
No, you just open one side of it.
Yeah, well, you carve into it, and then we have this, like, you know...
It makes everything
pocket.
three-dimensional.
Yeah. 1857, University
Usually
of...
to make that terrain.
What?
Usually to make that terrain of dioramas, it's like a styrofoam that you carve out with a hot knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
1857, the University of Calcutta was formally founded as the first full-fledged university in South Asia. Calcutta. It's awesome. 1859, political union of Moldavia and Wallachia, Alexandru Ion Cuza was elected as ruler. And it says here, the United Principalities of Moldavia and Wallachia, later named Romania, was formed as a personal union under the rule of Dominator Alexandru Lone Cuza. In 1862, just 3 years later, Romanian Principality arises under King Alexander Cuza. Bucharest was proclaimed its capital. All right. 1870, 1890, world's oldest wooden sculpture, the Shigor idol, radiocarbon dated to 12,500 years old, was discovered in a peat bog near Kalte, Middle Urals. And I just completely forgot, we have photos here to catch up on. So this is the jousting thing.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the guy falling down the stairs. You can't see it that well, but you can see there's a staircase, and there's a guy here, he's in mid-roll. So they have it like...
Mid-roll.
Yeah, mid-roll. Here is Sutter's Mill.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so... And here's University of Calcutta. So it looks really cool. I like that building. And here's that statue. Here, I think this is the top part. Yeah.
Now that's awesome.
Now I want to show you...
and how old would they say? You got to tell me how old it was.
It's radiocarbon dated to 12,500 years. It was found in a peat bog, so like, wow. You know, obviously...
I love the looks of that.
But I want to show you, like, it's more than just that. Like, open image, no, not the link, the image. Look how big it is.
Well, how do you get it dimensionally? There's nothing there to compare it to.
Well, I mean, like, the picture I showed, yeah. You know, was this section.
Is it actual human size, or is it?
Well, it's much larger than human size. Like,
oh, okay.
Well, I mean, like, it's just really tall. Like, let's see, open image in new tab. Let's see, there we go. You see it better that way. You see, like, how it, like, it keeps, it's all kind of broken into different pieces and everything.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And the wood is warped, but that's awesome.
12,000 years.
12,500. Oh. What else do we got here? 1899, rubber heel for boots or shoes was patented by U.S. Inventor Humphrey O'Sullivan.
That brings up a good question. What were they before? Leather or something? Cowhide?
Probably just solid wood, maybe?
I don't know.
Oh. You know what? Let's ask this Ecosia. Heels. What were shoe heels made of before rubber? What were shoes made of before rubber? What?
Leather.
Yeah, well, it says here leather and jute.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. What was before rubber soles? Roman sandals. What were old shoes? This is going on about the entirety of shoes.
Leather does it.
Yeah. I'm going to add this link in the underbar section as well, just because it looks like a really good read. Moving on up to 1900, Newcastle Badminton Club, the world's oldest, formed in England. All right.
Good old badminton.
Yeah. 901, Denmark and the U.S. signed a treaty under which Denmark will sell the Danish West Indies to the U.S. for $5 million, but the sale will be postponed until 1917. That's interesting. So, like, right in the real height of the First World War, and then we're buying the Danish West Indies. It's kind of weird.
Well, I bet the reason they wanted it was because of Epstein Island.
Oh. In 1901?
I bet that's the reason. Yeah, I bet that's the reason they wanted it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Look it up.
Yeah.
But well, we got in the war in, we got boots in the ground in 1917. I think we got into it in 1916, but it took about a year fully to get troops over there.
Yeah. Do it.
So. 901 as well. Emily Hobhouse viewed the British administrated concentration camp at Bloemfontein for women and children. Why did the British have a concentration camp for women and children in 1901? What? This is mind-blowing. What is it with Irish people? British concentration camps. Go away cookies. Wow, so there's a whole thing here. So I'm going to add This the underbar section. British concentration camps. I'm going to add this in the underbar section. There we go. 1908, Lieutenant General Robert Baden-Powell published Scouting for Boys as a manual for self-instruction in outdoor skills and self-improvement. The book became the inspiration for the Scout movement.
That's cool.
Boy Scouts and everything.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what the book looks like, I presume. You know, that's the image I got.
Didn't the Boy Scouts Boy
Well, the
Scouts
Scouts
get a bad rap a couple years ago, and I can't remember why. But
homosexual stuff. Like,
okay. Move
like
on. That's
not allowed
stupid.
to have gays in the
That's
Scouts
stupid.
and all that stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, they're allowed, blah, blah, blah. As you say, they're allowed their rights to deny certain things because they're a private organization. If they don't want a certain people in there, it's within their rights. You say that all the time.
Yeah, but you can't step on somebody else's rights. That's the problem.
That's
So
what I
you
say all the time. As soon as you start
there's-
saying somebody has rights because it's their organization, well, giving them rights takes away somebody else's rights. Something has to give.
Well, yeah, and that's what you have to determine when you get into courts and whatnot. But,
Yeah.
we have this house. That doesn't mean someone can come and decide it's their right to come in here and live. No, it's not.
Well, I agree with you. The state of California disagrees, and that's why we have all those stupid squatter laws.
Well,
At some point, something has to give.
okay, I opened up a bag of worms here. Keep
Yeah.
going.
1916, the Military Service Bill calling for conscription of men for war services passed in the British House of Commons. All right? And while that was going on, in Bruchelboer versus Union Pacific Railroads Company, the Supreme Court of the United States declared the federal income tax constitutional. Okay?
Thank you. Now we have it.
Yeah. Camel's nose.
Yep.
1918, the Gregorian calendar was introduced in Russia by decree of the Council of People's Commissars, effective February 14th, new style. All right. Yeah, my birthday. 1922, Eskimo pie was patented by Christian Kent Nelson of Iowa, who was not an Eskimo. Actually, that was 1922. So, and they wanted to enforce, that he was indeed not an Eskimo,
Yeah.
despite selling Eskimo pies. And here's
Well, that's kind of a stupid statement. Who
Yeah.
cares if he's an Eskimo?
Well,
he
I
came
mean-
up with a frozen treat. I know, this something cold. Eskimos, yeah.
Yeah, but now he's using the name of indigenous people for marketing, and he has no relation to them whatsoever. So, it's kind of scummy.
Yeah,
It's kind of scummy.
I don't think so.
It's kind of scummy. 1922, Lemon Caves National Monument was established, and here's a picture of it right here.
What is that cave?
Lemon Caves.
I never heard of
Well, there's a lot of caves out there.
Yeah.
Lehaman, Leman. So not lemon like the citrus. Leman. 1923, Aztec Ruins National Monument in New Mexico was established. All right, New Mexico. That's in the States. We can go there. I'd like to check that out because I saw some pictures. Maybe bigger this here really quick. I'd like to go check these out. Aztec Ruins?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Maybe we can make a road trip or something at some point someday.
Yeah, it's not too far away.
Or fly there after we move out of California.
I've been to
1924.
New Mexico, but I didn't go there. I didn't know that was there.
Neither did I. Now we do. 1924, Benito Mussolini disallowed non-fascist work union. And while that was happening, the Russian city of St. Petersburg was renamed Leningrad to be changed back in 1991. So it's once again St. Petersburg, I believe. 1925, moving picture of a solar eclipse was taken from a dirigible over Long Island. You know what? I'm going to see if that still exists really quick. Let's see here. Well, this is a bunch of shorts and a bunch of crap, so I'm not going to find it. Oh, well. What else do we got here? 1930, John Mills scored New Zealand's first 10th century in cricket, sharing a record 276-run opening stand with Stewie Dempster. 1933, the 20th Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified, changing the beginning and end terms for all elected federal offices. So that's when they switched from March 20th to January 20th for inauguration.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We've been talking about that over the past couple of days. 1934, Dmitri Shostakovich's opera Lady Macbeth of the Mitinsky district was performed in Moscow, roundly criticized by the Communist Party and banned in the Soviet Union until 1961. Wow. 1935, the first canned beer, Kruger's Cream Ale, was sold by U.S. company Kruger Brewing Company. All right. And imagine my surprise when I was researching writing for this. I had beer last night out of a can. Mm-hmm. And then I come across this, the first can. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Serendipity. 1939, 30,000 people were killed by an earthquake in Concepcion, Chile, which is the deadliest earthquake in Chilean history. And in the other source, it says 28,000 people got killed. But still, that's many thousands of people there.
Yeah, that's tough.
And we spoke about the deadliest ever. You know, what was that, 80-something thousand?
I forget the number.
No, it was 800. So it was almost a million, right?
Yeah,
it was
like
830-something thousand people in China or whatever.
Yeah.
That was nuts. 1940, The Grapes of Wrath, directed by John Ford and based on John Steinbeck's novel of the same name, starring Henry Fonda and Jane Darwell, was released.
Yeah.
Yep. 1942, during World War II, the Allies bombarded Bangkok, leading Thailand, which was under Japanese control, to declare war against the United States and United Kingdom. Moving on up to 1943, Adolf Hitler ordered German troops at Stalingrad to fight to the death. Both sides were just really did not want to let that city go, and for the same exact reason, you know. I mean, like Stalin forbade evacuation. So that way,
if that city had fallen, probably Russia would have fallen.
Well, the morale certainly would have completely been gone. So, 1943, Jewish patients, nurses, and doctors were incinerated at Auschwitz-Birkenau. Yeah. 1946, the United Nations General Assembly passed its first resolution to establish the United Nations Atomic Energy Commission. All right. 1950. U.S. patent was awarded to inventor Percy Spencer for the microwave oven.
Yay.
Now, let's tell a story. You tell it a little bit better than me. But let the audience know about our Christmas miracle. Legitimately was a miracle. With a microwave.
Well, on our last vegetable that we were cooking.
Yeah.
And it was just finishing up, the microwave died.
Yeah.
You know, and the meal was done, cooked, ready to go. Thank you, microwave. You hung in there.
Yeah. So legitimately the very end.
Now here's a better story on microwaves. So, I worked at a market, and they had a little snack center over in the corner. You know, like most
little
markets.
break room
do. You
thing.
want to go get a burger or whatever.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Like a little grill area?
Well, a little grill area. They had stuff, you know, hot stuff, cold stuff.
Okay, so it was more than just a basket with chips.
No, it was a little bar,
like
a
kitchenette
counter.
type
You
thing.
go up, you want get whatever you want.
Okay.
Anyways, somebody I was there with or something ordered, and I don't remember what it was, and they put it in this box. I'm looking at it. Bing, 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 bing. Ding, came out hot. I go, what the hell? What happened?
That must have seemed like magic.
First microwave I'd ever seen.
Wow.
That was in the mid 60s.
I bet you had a Star Trek moment there. You're just like,
what is that?
Wow. I would have loved to experience something like that. 1952, fire in main building of French Port Martin Antarctic base. That's not good. Fire in an Antarctic base.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to check to see. I do not have any comments. 1952, the first NFL team in Texas, the Dallas Texans, formerly the New York Yanks, lost 11 of 12 games. Hold up a second. Weren't the New York Yanks a baseball team?
Yeah.
So
I don't know what that is.
But this says NFL.
Yeah.
So, and 1952.
Maybe,
so
52. They may have had a name change.
But we went over this a week or so ago.
Yeah,
remember?
we had the same thing.
Yeah.
The Yanks weren't. As far as I remember, there was no New York Yanks.
Yeah.
New York Giants, which are still there today.
That's really odd. Anyway, 1955, photography exhibition The Family of Man, curated by Edward Steichen, opened at MoMA, New York. Quote, greatest photographic enterprise ever undertaken, end quote. Well, let's take a look at this here really quick. The Family of Man. Okay, so just a bunch of pictures of some guy's family or something. It looks cool. All right. 1956, an inquiry considered building homes in a war-devastated area in London. All right. 1958, after warming to 100 million degrees, two light atoms were bashed together to create a heavier atom, resulting in the first man-made nuclear fusion. Wow. That's incredible. SC, remind me, like there's something weird. Oh yeah, wasn't there some scientific thing where they bent light recently, or something like that, or they had light is a liquid? Hold on. I saw something. I can't seem to remember exactly what it was, but it was kind of mind blowing. Anyway, moving on up to 1960, Algeria uprises. I'm sorry, what?
Can bend light into water is we're talking about something else.
Huh. There's something. Why can't I remember it? It was mind blowing. Anyway, 1960, Algeria uprises against French President Charles de Gaulle. And from the other source, Algerian War. Some units of European volunteers in Algiers staged an insurrection known as the Barricades Week, in which they sieged government buildings and clashed with local police. That doesn't sound good. 1961, Edward Albee's one-act play American Dream premiered in New York City. All right. A one-act play. Sounds weird. 1961 as well, Lazard Brothers Limited drew a check for $334,867,807.68. Why? Like, were they buying something? Like, I'm going to look this up here really quick. Ford pays check for British deal. Okay, but it says Lazard Brothers. Or were they the ones buying something from Ford? Yeah, this is the same number. Is turned over for distribution to holders of units. Huh. Okay, well, I'm going to add this in the underbar section so people can look this up here. Large check. So, there you go. That's for your reading, guys. 1961 as well, Goldsboro B-52 crash. A bomber carrying 2 hydrogen bombs broke up in midair over North Carolina.
Whoa.
The uranium core of one weapon remains lost.
Whoa.
Remember, I was talking to you about all those broken arrows.
Yeah.
And, you know, said what, like 35 some odd weapons or something are still unaccounted for?
I can't remember.
You know, so... You know, so that means that either they found them and never disclosed it, somebody found them, or they're there waiting to go off. I mean, we know one, underground, because they built. Remember, I told you it was like over Spain or whatever, and they located it, but they couldn't move it, so they just
afraid to go off. Right?
Yeah, so they completely entombed it in concrete, and there's like a 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot square section of Earth that is sovereign U.S. territory, so that way nobody can do anything with it. You know? Moving on up to 1962, 28 refugees escaped from East to West Germany. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And while that was going on, Jackie Robinson became the first black stadium elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Bob Feller was also elected. All right. Yeah.
It's a shame that he had that car accident and ended up in a wheelchair. Just the year that they're going to come out to L.A. the next year.
You talking about who? Bob
Jackie
Feller
Robinson.
or Jackie Robinson? Okay.
Feller was a great pitcher.
Yeah. 1964, 24th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The elimination of poll taxes went into effect, removing states' ability to deny voting rights due to failure to pay taxes. We were talking about that yesterday. That's when they signed it, and this is when it went into effect. 1968, Operation Coburg began, an Australian and New Zealand military action during the Vietnam War, in which the 1st Australian Task Force launched said operation against North Vietnamese Army and Viet Cong during wider fighting around Long Binh and Bien Hoa. All right. 1969, students protested the erection of steel gates around the London School of Economics, so they didn't want a fence around it. 1972, Japanese Sergeant Soichi Yokoi was found hiding in the jungles of Guam, where he had been since the end of World War II. I think this is the guy we spoke about the other day. The Japanese soldier. 20 years or something almost. 1975, fastest earthbound object at 7,200 kilometers per hour in vacuum centrifuge, England. Now that reminds me, I wonder if I can find this, because there's this whole thing going on about gravity not being a force or anything. Because and I saw a video that, like, they had a bowling ball and they had a bunch of feathers, and they dropped it. Obviously, the bowling ball came down first, but they were in this chamber, and they made it into basically a vacuum. So there was no wind resistance, no air.
Yeah.
And that's why the feathers fell slower, because of the air resistance. So in a vacuum, they dropped it. They fell exactly the same.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was mind-blowing to watch. So, feather bowling ball drop. Let's see if I can find this.
Gravity is a force, but also it's air resistant, which air resistant pushed on the feathers more because it's had a good drag coefficient.
That makes sense. I'm going to bigger this here really quick, just so that way you can see it. But I'm going to fast forward this. Here we go. So I'm going to add this to the underbar as well, but here.
2, 1, release.
Look at that.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah. Now, is that the actual speed, or did they slow it down?
They slowed it down. Because obviously the bowling ball, but, I mean, that was wild.
Yeah.
That was absolutely wild.
Yeah.
So, what else do we got here? 1977, massacre of Atocha in Madrid. 5 labor lawyers were murdered by fascists in Madrid during the Spanish transition to democracy. So it has to be after Francisco Franco's death, which I think was in 76. That sounds about right. 1978, Carter Executive Order on Intelligence, number 12036. What is that? Well, let me look that up here really quick. What is the reading? Go away. Executive Order. Let's look this up here really quick. Impose restrictions on and reform the U.S. intelligence community, along with further banning indirect U.S. involvement in assassinations. The EO was designed to strengthen and expand Executive Order 11905, which was originally signed by Gerald R. Ford in 1976.
By the way, I have to interrupt that
It's
Jackie
okay,
Robinson
record
story where I
involvement.
said, he's in the car accident.
Yeah.
Wrong guy. It was actually Rory Campanella, so I had it all wrong.
Okay. And what did you say, SC?
Just because they ban it doesn't mean that they don't do it.
Yeah,
Well, true. Absolutely true. So, but let me executive order. Let me add this in the underbar section as well. Moving on up to 1978, Soviet satellite Cosmos 954 with a nuclear reactor on board burns up in Earth's atmosphere, scattering radioactive debris over Canada's Northwest Territories. Only 1% was recovered. Well, now we know why Canada is the way it is today. Damn Russians. 19.
Those Ruskies.
Yeah. Well, we can't slam them too hard because, we have Sweek as a friend. He's a Ruski.
Hey, I have no problems with the people around the world.
Yeah, neither do I. 1984, Apple Computer Inc. unveiled its revolutionary Macintosh personal computer in a Super Bowl TV ad directed by Ridley Scott. Didn't we cover this yesterday, or am I thinking of when I was researching writing and being very wowed by that? 1986, Voyager 2 made the first flyby of Uranus at 81,593 kilometers. Found 2 moons. This was their closest approach. And I find that really funny. Uranus found 2 moons. What were they, cheeks?
God.
1987, about 20,000 protesters marched in a civil rights demonstration in Forsyth County, Georgia, United States. All right. 89, first reported case of AIDS transmitted by heterosexual oral, So that's interesting. So now it's spreading.
Yeah.
So, yep. 1989 as well, notorious serial killer Ted Bundy, with over 30 known victims, was executed via electric chair at the Florida State Prison. Yep, sayonara. 1990, Japanese Musis A Hiton was launched towards the moon. It was the country's first lunar probe, the first robotic lunar probe since the Soviet Union's Luna 24 in 1976, and the first lunar probe launched by a country other than the US or USSR. And then we also have LA's Pat Riley became the 13th and fastest coach to reach the 500 victory plateau as the Lakers down the Indiana Pacers. 120 to 111, Ridley 500 to 184 surpassed Don Nelson 500 to 317 to reach the milestone. 94, Chalino Sanchez was attacked and shot while performing at the Plaza Los Arcos restaurant in Coachella, California. Yikes.
So Coachella.
Yeah.
That's where they have the big deal every year.
Yeah, the music festival and everything. 1997, the Swiss government and several banks and businesses agreed to create a memorial fund for victims of the Holocaust. Yep. That just reminds me of that story of when Pokemon Go was rather popular. Somebody had it up while going through the Holocaust Museum. And they found... what was it that they found? They found, like... a gas leak or something. They found something. Hold on a second. Let me look this up. It's ridiculous. Oh no, they found a coffin. That's right. They found a coffin. Hold on a second. Pokemon Go Holocaust Museum. I think it was a coffin. Yeah, the real problem with playing Pokemon Go at the Holocaust Museum. Where was it? Well, it's not telling me. It's not showing me a screenshot or anything. I'm pretty sure it was... Yeah, it was. Here we go. Coughing, the poison gas Pokemon.
Oh.
In the Holocaust Museum. Oh, my heavens.
That's not good.
No, it's not. What else do we have here? Moving on up to 2003, the United States Department of Homeland Security officially began operations. I remember that. 2006, Walt Disney International and Bob Iger announced it is buying computer animation film studio Pixar for $7.4 billion.
Not as good as it used to be.
Nope. Well, because Disney got it. 2009, Pope Benedict XVI rescinded the excommunications of 4 bishops consecrated without papal consent in 1988 by Archbishop Marcel Lefebvre. Okay.
I thought you were going to say Marcel Marceau.
2013, a Japanese Coast Guard ship engaged a Taiwanese activist ship in the Senkaku Islands dispute. What does that mean, engaged? Did they open fire? Like, usually that's what that means.
You can engage in conversation, engage in anything.
Let's see here.
Likely,
Controlling islands. I'm trying to find what happened here. This happened in 2013. So this is a whole thing that has a whole pre-1970s position. Wow, this has history. So, hold on a second. Island disputes. I'm going to add this link in the underbar section as well. Moving on up to 2016 TV drama The X-Files returned after 13 years, reuniting lead actors David DeVoce and Gillian Anderson, and produced again by Chris Carter. All right. 2017, President Trump withdrew the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, TPPA. All right. 2018, former U.S. Olympic team Dr. Larry Nassar was found guilty of this word over 150 girls and was sentenced to up to 175 years in prison. Good. May he rot underneath that prison. 2019, 17 temperature records were broken in South Australia, including the highest ever reported and recorded for the capital of Adelaide at 46.6 degrees Celsius. Which, what is that in Fahrenheit? Let's take a look at that. In Fahrenheit. What do you say?
No, you're right.
115.88. That's hot.
Hot.
That is hot. 2019.
Frying eggs at that.
Yeah. 2019, the search for the missing Argentine footballer Emiliano Sala was called off after rescuers failed to find the aircraft that disappeared from radar over the English Channel 3 days prior. Search resumed, funded by soccer community donations. Wreckage was later discovered February 3rd. So they did find him. And I remember covering this article and wondering if they ever found him, and so here's our answer. They did. 2019 as well, U.S. government recognized Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido as the country's president. Yeah, here we go. So, 2022, 19 people died in a fight and a fire at a nightclub in Sorong City, West Papua, Indonesia. That sounds like something out of an action movie. A fight then turned into a fire and then people died? That's crazy. 2022, at least 34 people were killed and 65,000 were left homeless after 2 different tropical storms battered Madagascar and Mozambique, with Madagascar's capital, Antananarivo, particularly affected. They got hit twice.
That's great with the storms we have going across our country this weekend.
Oh, yeah. 2022 as well. A coup in Burkina Faso, as military announced on TV they have overthrown President Roch Kabore after his failure to stem an Islamic insurgency. 1 year after that, Adani Enterprises, owned by Gautam Adani, the world's 3rd richest man, lost $108 billion in value after an investment firm Hindenburg Research published report alleging stock manipulation and accounting fraud. Wow. I find that incredibly ironic. $108 billion drop because of the investment firm Hindenburg?
Yeah. I didn't pick up on that.
Oh my goodness. 2023 as well, the coldest winter in a decade in Afghanistan has killed at least 124 people and 70,000 livestock, leaving many areas cut off, according to state officials. Jeez. We also have the doomsday clock was reset to 90 seconds until midnight, the closest it has ever been. It was set up back in 1947 by a bulletin of the atomic scientists due partly to war in Ukraine. And
So what exactly is the doomsday clock?
Go ahead,
It's
SC.
89 seconds now, but I don't think it's as close as it's definitely been worse.
Yeah, I
It's
was going to
just,
bring up that it has been worse since then. But the loon here wanted to know with the doomsday clock. It is a symbol that represents the estimated likelihood of a human-made global catastrophe in the opinion of the nonprofit organization Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. So it's basically like the closer you are to midnight, the higher chances are to total atomic annihilation worldwide. So 90 seconds to midnight, is not good. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, maintained since 1947, yada, yada, yada.
Which is kind of ironic. They came up with a doomsday clock right after I was born.
Now I know why. You're it!
There you go.
You're the doomsday! But let's see. Doomsday clock closest to midnight. What is the record right now?
Right now it's 89 seconds.
Whoa, really?
Well, it was at 90.
Yeah.
89.
But 39 is a lot closer.
No, he
than
said
90.
89.
Oh,
8
I
to
think
9.
that's 39, okay.
No, 89. It says here 89 seconds right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we've been closer. I guess not. Anyway, we also have Peruvian Prime Minister Dina Boluarte called for a national truce after 7 weeks of violent protests at Pedro Castillo's removal of office, which had left at least 50 people dead. Yikes. 2024, Israeli forces expanded their ground offensive into central Gaza's urban refugee camps, saying it will last many months. Yeah, well, they want to take over more land. 2024, Russian military plane was shot down by Ukrainian forces, and Russia kills all 74 on board, including 65 Ukrainian prisoners of war, prompted accusations on both sides. It was an Ilyushin Tu-76. It crashed in the... my other source just says crashed. It didn't say shot down. So, that's interesting.
And they were all killed, though.
Oh.
That's what.
Yeah.
Well, after you get shot down, you probably crash.
Well, yes.
It's just what makes it seem like it's...
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
but what's disturbing is they killed all the passengers,
Well,
or whatever they are.
what's disturbing in the same kind of alarming nature is that our other source didn't mention it was shot down. If I only used that source, I wouldn't know that it was shot down.
Yeah.
So that's them, hiding aspects of history. That's not good. You got to tell the whole story. 2024 as well, Sri Lanka passed a controversial law to regulate online content, with critics claiming it will limit free speech. It always does. We also have the UK confirmed 3-year loan of Ghana's crown jewels belonging to the Asante monarch to the Mahia Palace Museum, Kumasi, 150 years after they were looted.
Wow.
Okay.
What did we do with those jewels? Let me see.
Just last year, last but not least, U.S. President Trump fired over a dozen independent inspectors general without the required 30-day advance notice, citing reasons for the firing to Congress. Okay, boo-hoo, you lost your jobs. Get over it.
Yeah, but were they justified, the firings?
Well, I'm pretty sure that was part of the whole Doge thing. So, Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, I know.
So, that's kind of ironic. We're going to reduce the government by adding more government because that makes sense. So, anyway, that'll be it for the show today. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links that you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion, of them all. You saw all the stuff that we did read over and everything. Please check our sources. It is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness and a yearning to see outside of what you think you know, to grow and to find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day, or at least try to get a show out 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, are you. Thank you so much for coming in and watching, and thank you, SC, for coming in and joining us. Until you guys catch us next time, whatever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! And here, and in...